But Jim, another story that we will get to today that a lot of the listeners have been sending in. I have one here from the Cult of Cornette Facebook group. Caleb Caton sent this over. It's from Twitter after the announcement that Impact Wrestling, going back in time, their own time travel machine, we go forward, they go backwards. Reverting to TNA, tits and ass wrestling, or total nonstop action wrestling, whichever works better for you. Well, we have a tweet from @the Vince Russo.
Oh, good Lord.
I'm just going to say it. If those at, quote, Impact Wrestling, unquote, are serious about going back to TNA, in quotes, then you at least have to go back and pick the brain of the guy who named it TNA. All in caps. If you don't, ... then you're just changing ring aprons, and it's all BS.
He's still proud of it. He thinks it was a good thing. He doesn't realize that they changed their name before because it had become synonymous with Drek wrestling. And we just talked about this on the last program. The current owners and administration of Impact Wrestling have created a situation where people are actually nostalgic for Drek. And whatever they've been doing is so rotten that people are going back to, or they're wanting to go back to, a period of time when they were somehow less rotten. And that's a standard. And now this fucking clueless moron thinks this is all a good thing, and he wants to be a part of it. Naturally. Because he wants to be a part of anything. Because nobody wants him to be a part of their thing. They want him to be apart from them, a long way apart. For the kids who say this is toxic and that's toxic, old Shitstain has reached that high bar. He's so fucking poisonous. Nobody, whether it's the clown wrestlers, the cosplay wrestlers, the trampoline cowboys, the outlaws, the garbage wrestlers, nobody wants him around. But he's begging again.
You see, that's the thing. It's the begging part. Do you think he's really doing, like, is this for show to get attention, or does he really think they're going to have
Why do you want that kind of attention?
Well, are they supposed to have a conversation? Hey, did you see Vince Russo's tweet? Yeah, I did. You know what? Let's bring him in. Maybe now he has interesting things to say.
As opposed to never in the past 20 years.
Right. What is this supposed to prompt? That's why I say, is it for attention?
He doesn't realize what he's doing, and it's sad out in public. And if I cared anything about him as a human being, which I don't, I'd feel bad for him. But since I fucking hate him and think he's the most miserable piece of shit that ever walked besides Donald Trump, I can laugh at this. And again, he's begging people, talk to me. I did this 30 years ago. I did this 28 years ago. I've done nothing else before or since, but talk to me. He's always telling Vince and Vince's minions, I can tell you how to make Raw better or SmackDown better. Now these dipshits, I can tell you how to make tits and ass wrestling better. No, you can't. You're the reason they had to change their name to begin with. It's just, it's been so fucking long since it's been rotten in that way that the people are more used to the current rotten, and they want some different rotten. That's why they're going back to your name, but they don't want you to be involved in it. So get a hobby. Do something else that you could be good at. I know you're only 62, Vince, but you've had a little time. Maybe you could find that thing that you're good at. But quit begging for jobs from people that do not want you around. They've all smartened up at this point. My point that I was making 25 years ago has gradually sunk into everybody else's head. You're an idiot, and you don't know what you're doing, and nobody wants to play with you anymore. So go the fuck away. Quit begging. It's cheap. It's tawdry. Good Lord.
I understand he submitted a resume, but in sending it to Scott D'Amore, he actually accidentally sent it to Scott Dickinson instead. You got the wrong Scott, like you got the wrong Mike that one time.
And unfortunately, the other people that he tried to send it to, he violated his own restraining orders against them.
See,
No,
that's
I'll close by saying he still thinks that it was a good thing, as we talked about on the show last week, that I went to advertisers or cable people, and the first that they laughed, tits and ass wrestling. And it was a joke. It was his emotionally immature, arrested development idea of a joke to that what he thought would appeal to the low class, trashy people that he thought watched wrestling. And it was a fucking joke like him and his whole goddamn life and his whole career. I'm done.
I mean, that's the other thing, even just evaluating the name. Fans will think there'll be women half naked.
Yes.
It'd be great. That'll make them watch the show. Not the wrestling. The women who are almost nude, but not nude. That's the Vince Russo update here today.
Still begging